the men are taking their daughters and making them fight each other and turning them into men, I had that all backwards. I heard that you were taking your men and turning them into little girls. You just can't trust the news.
Oh,
Bruh.
That's a jab. Low blow, turning men into little girls out here in the West.
Perfect.
First, we'll start off with Filipina P. She's got an episode here called Asian Reacts to Entitled Western Women. Here we go.
Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And today
Fundamental.
stuff is all about. Can you explain it to me, Emma?
This is a fundamental and complete misunderstanding of what is. Is about equality and choice. It's about a woman being able to say, I'm going to wear a dress, or I don't want to wear a dress, or I want this kind of future, or I don't want that kind of future. It's about the ability to choose. I think there's so many misconceptions and
Emotional damage.
Who's going to tell her that if she decided to choose stay-at-home motherhood, she's going to get absolutely lambasted by all the other progressive queens that are going to tell her she's a pick-me. That's going to tell her she's setting us back 80 years, sis. Who's going to tell her that as long as your idea meshes with mine, we're good to go? But the moment you have another opinion, you're the enemy now. You've internalized misogyny. That's what they'll tell you.
and misunderstandings about what that is.
Well, I think we already solved the problem, guys. It's all just a big misunderstanding. It's just about equality and choice, equal rights for men and women, and the right to wear a dress? You mean the patriarchy won't let you wear a dress? I don't know about your country, but I can wear a dress anytime I want, see? And I even get to choose my own career, too. Wow, you Western women must have it really bad. Let's see what other horrible things those awful men are doing to you over there.
I was at a Whole Foods table outside, minding my business at night, and this black guy decides to hand me a hormone balance brochure. I think he wanted to talk to me under the guise of giving me some promotional information, you know.
Oh no, not the old hormone brochure trick. Those nasty men with their pocket full of pamphlets. They're just trying to get you nice and fertile before they can take advantage of you. Run, lady, run!
I think it's a guise for what men like to do to get a woman's attention.
Bruh.
Nobody's gonna try to slide in your fucking DMs, hit on you with the damn hormone brochure. I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't the kind that's intimidating men to the point they're afraid to approach. Where are the cave trolls and the stuff?
Men seem to like to get a woman's attention.
Yes, men like to get a woman's attention. How else are they gonna get you to read the brochure? So it surprises you that guys have to get a woman's attention in order to talk to her?
A salesman hit on me. He came up with his brochure and talking to me about fucking monthly plans and shit, and I know he was trying to get into my pants. He was asking me how much I could afford and what my budget was. It was all pretend. This guy wanted me so bad. Dude, they star and direct their own movie, and the world revolves around them. They are the superstars. It's wild, dude. Imagine the ego you have to be getting sold a product. My man's got a brochure in hand, and you're so egoistic, self-inflated that you think there's no way I'm possibly being approached for a brochure. Clearly this guy wants me.
Like, as if they're entitled to that attention. Ooh! It's not so much shooting a shot as it is entitlement. Sometimes you just got to let people be. It's not like you passing up the moment of the best thing that you could have ever had in your life at a gas station.
Oh, I see. They're entitled to it. So if a guy dares to interact with you, he's automatically entitled. But they wouldn't try to shoot their shot until after you've had your hormones anyway, right? So you're safe. And what's wrong with gas stations? Unless guys are walking up and saying stuff like, "Can I feel your tank?" That's just as good as anywhere else to meet somebody. Okay, so rule number 1, do not approach a woman to talk to her. Okay, got it.
Last night was Friday, and I go and I get gas. This guy was trying to hit on me about my Apple sticker, and he's like, "So you got an Apple, I got an Apple, can I call your Apple?" And I said, "No." Yeah, I told him no in front of his friend that was in his seat, that was in his car.
Notice, pay very close attention to her face, how much she revels in saying no to the guy. It went all of a sudden, don't talk to me with your brochure, to I told this man no, I got hit on. It makes me feel good that I have this choice. You see how happy, just watch minute differences in her face. I'll rewind it slightly for you guys. Pay very close attention here. That this is all done for attention. Not a single word she says matters. The moment an attractive man comes up to her, that's her type, all this bullshit, everything she's saying, don't approach me, you're entitled with my time, it disappears immediately. She'll be smiling all the way to the bank. Oh my God, telling all her girlfriends, calling, FaceTiming everybody, the hottest Chad, Tyrone just hit on me. And oh my God, girl, I got a date lined up. I got to look my best. Got to go get my Brazilian wax, all this shit. Please, dude. Michel Quinones, thanks, brother. Says femnats are abundant here in Puerto Rico too. Fems run just as deep here in the PR as in the States. Yeah, you're not too far off, dude. You're right there.
With him.
What's up with you and gas?
In front of his friend. No.
Look at
yeah, I told him no in front of his friend that was in his seat, that was in his car with him.
What's up with you and gas stations? Okay, so other than being really proud of yourself for shooting down, what else did that nasty man do? Did he pin you against your car? Beat you with a fistful of pamphlets? Please, girl, don't keep me hanging.
I made it out of that situation safely.
Oh my God, bro.
Bruh.
I survived being hit on. The trenches in the US are so dangerous, bro. I can't go anywhere without being attacked and oppressed. What am I to do? Let me run to Starbucks. So strong, so brave. Latte. Extra pumps, please. You won't believe, girl, what I just survived. It's a war zone.
Bruh.
Think about that.
Lady, that's the most horrifying story I've ever heard. Are you okay? Did you go to the police? I gotta say, you're one brave woman. I sure hope this next lady hasn't been so mistreated. Shame on you, man.
I have a question for you guys. What's going on with guys not approaching women anymore?
Wait a sec. The last lady said,
Like, if I make eye contact with you and you're checking me out and you're staring at me for like 10 minutes, I don't know, maybe stop being creepy and come up and say hello?
so if they're creepy and staring at you from a dark corner for 10 minutes, you want them to come up and say hello?
I don't know. Food for thought? Like, why aren't you guys approaching women anymore?
Because you tell them not to?
Like, I was at a bar.
Of course you
and
were.
everyone is in their own groups, not approaching strangers. Like, not one guy, not even just for me, not one guy went up to a girl and just started talking to her.
It's the eyes, Chico. They never lie. Be very careful with this one.
It was so weird. And I'm like, how am I supposed to meet people?
Well, you're a strong, independent woman, right? Why is it the man's job to make the first move? Wouldn't that be entitled? Okay, so rule number 2. Do approach a woman, but only if you're creepy and you stare at her first. Okay, so on to the next injustice.
We need because a man in a room full of women is ecstatic, while a woman in a room full of men is terrified.
Western women are terrified of being in a room full of men? What do they do to you in those rooms? Do they, talk to you? And a man in a room full of women is ecstatic? You've obviously never been in a room full of gossiping Filipinos. What else you got?
I like that men have trust issues because we wear makeup, and the rest of us have trust issues because men try to kill us in the street.
Men try to kill you in the street? What the heck is going on over there? Are there piles of bodies in the road? Like they have to use a...
Do you see the victimization? Do you see the indoctrination like what we had from that earlier episode where the girl goes to an elite liberal college and she learns about gender studies and the patriarchy and becomes like a professional victim? Do you see what I mean? What on earth are these people learning? Where are they getting this information from where they think in a country like United States, She's afraid to get murdered everywhere she goes. It's so dangerous, bro. I can't go get my latte without an army behind me because I'm walking the streets. It's dangerous. It can pop off any moment for me as a woman. What are you talking about? Nobody cares about you. I bet if she dressed in a hoodie, stopped putting makeup on, stopped wearing revealing clothes, stopped doing a bunch of things that wants attention, right? Coloring hair, piercings everywhere, ass hanging out, boobs hanging out of your clothes. If you just went in a hoodie and some long ass pants, nobody would know you even exist. Everybody's full of themselves here, trying to survive for the next check, finding food on the table, meagerly paying jobs that we got going on with record inflation, and she's worried about getting murdered in the streets. Dude, nobody cares. When you advertise to men that you're open to being approached by wearing sexualized clothing, don't be surprised when men try to shoot their shot. Okay, you look at a cop dressed up as a cop and you go, that's a cop. You see someone dressed up as a fireman, you go, yeah, that dude runs into burning buildings. You see a woman dressed up super revealing, you go, yeah, I want to go talk to her. She looks like she's open to being approached.
Big snowplow to push all the dead women to one side so you evil men can go for your morning jog? Things are worse than I thought. Rule number 3, don't slaughter women in the street. Got it.
Isn't it interesting when men have women in their lives, young women, like daughters, cousins, nieces?
Not particularly. We have plenty of those.
And they attempt to justify boasting about their daughters, cousins, nieces, blah, 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 any young female in their life by getting them into hyper masculine or things that they associate to be masculine things like, oh, she's a scrapper, we'll get her into MMA, you know.
No, I didn't know. The men are taking their daughters and making them fight each other and turning them into men. I had that all backwards. I heard that you were taking your men and turning them into little girls. You just can't trust the news.
Oh, that's a jab. Low blow. Turning men into little girls out here in the West.
Perfect.
These days.
They have to put her into some sort of little masculinity box in order to approve of her, in order to boast about her.
And they put them in little boxes? Masculinity boxes? I've heard about those. They're toxic. The poor things.
And the irony in that is that, you know, they think they're not being sexist.
Here we
because
go.
They let them do boy things or teach them to do boy things.
Misogyny.
But it's all misogyny.
Misogyny.
Oh, there it is.
I knew it. So they won't
it.
love their little girls until they become men.
It is misogyny, boys, to teach your young girls to defend themselves, to give them a sense of self-esteem, to make them believe in themselves, to develop boundaries, confidence. Taking them to take MMA is absolute misogyny. You can't make this shit up. You really can't, dude. They will find any problem, any sort of slight against them, anything, real or imagined, and just run with it. No question asked.
Diabolical.
I'm sure we all already knew this by now, but old men are actually so fucking disgusting.
Look at the eyes, Chico.
Bruh.
Just look. Take a second.
Oh, hell no.
Let's see what she's got to say.
Repulsive.
Well, no, I didn't know that because I come from a culture where the elderly are treated with respect.
So I'm at work today, and this old man comes up directly behind me, like 3 inches behind me, and doesn't say anything until I turn around and I'm like, hi, and he goes, hi, is that your real hair? And at this point, I take a step away from him because he is in my bubble, okay, in my f***ing bubble. Anyways, I was like, yep, my real hair, and he goes, wow, it's so nice and long. It's not like that fake hair that they use to make their hair, those other girls use to make their hair longer, right? And I was like, no, it's my real hair, yep. Like, why is this man talking to me about my hair? It would have been fine if he was just like, you have nice, pretty hair, or whatever, and just went along about his fucking day, but it doesn't stop here.
So when old men stood too close to you and complimented your hair, Why do you have the feeling if he was young and good looking, this wouldn't be an issue so far? Am I right?
And then he goes, wow, so it is real? Can I touch it? And then proceeds to start reaching for me and taking a step closer to me. So I take another step back. Said, no, you cannot touch my hair. I was very firm with this man.
Believe it or not, I hear the same thing all the time, sometimes even from old men. You have such beautiful long hair. Is that natural? And you know what I say? Thank you. And yes, it is. And if someone wants to touch it, that depends on where I am at the time. Like if it's a brightly lit public place, I might even say yes, especially to an old man who can't overpower me. So if you ever see me on the street and we start talking and you say, you have such amazing hair, can I touch it? I'll probably say, sure, as long as you don't start moaning as you caress it.
The shit he said next almost made me throw up, dude. He goes, damn, well, I just love girls with long, pretty hair. It's just so nice and sexy and easy to grab. The woman was too stunned to speak, quite literally. I had no idea what to say to this, so I kind of just went, haha, okay. And then he goes, are you sure I can't touch it? And I was like about to fucking scream, dude. I looked.
This story sounds like one of these. It sounds like, let me go in my room. What the fuck is on her ceiling? Okay. And, fucking hell.
Looked him.
Oh, yeah, the LED strip, dude. Perfect. And let me go make up a story for some clout. So what really happened, boys, most likely, is a man came up to her, told her she had pretty hair, and then that was like the highlight of her day. And now she has to be like, well, how do I turn this highlight, because the rest of my day is so goddamn boring, and get some attention out of it? Oh, I know. I'm gonna get on TikTok and just embellish the story to shit, and hopefully I go viral and like I get so much love and attention, because I don't. At home. Daddy's not around.
Dead in the eyes and said, no, but you have a good day. And turned around and walked away as fast as I fucking could.
Okay, if that's what happened, and I'm not saying it's not, and the guy came at you like Frankenstein and was saying stuff like, damn, that's sexy, I want to pull it, right in the middle of a store, then that's entirely inappropriate. And I would have been firm with him too. But you know what I wouldn't do? Run home to make a TikTok video and tell the whole world about my near-death experience. But that's just me.
Old men are gross.
Now, why'd you feel the need to add that? Because you had a bad experience with an elderly person? It means that all older men are gross? Talk about generalizing. And once again, if this had been a younger, good-looking guy, would you be saying all young men are gross? I didn't think so. So if it's so bad over there, why do you propose to fix things?
This is why tampons and pads should be free.
Oh, I like free stuff, doesn't everybody? The problem is, nothing's actually free. It just means other people have to pay for it. But let's see how you justify it. Maybe you'll convince me.
Reason number one is the homeless community. If pads and tampons were free, it would help them save their money and be able to afford maybe food or clothes, other important necessities in life.
I don't mean to sound gross, but when I was growing up, we didn't even have stuff like that. We literally used a rag that we reused. Having tampons is not something we consider a human right.
Reason number two is the fact that we do not actually choose to.
You know, and that's such a good point she brings up. The amount of privilege we have in the West is unfathomable to the average person, to the average Willie, where men have to grab their harpoons and have them ready, okay? They can't understand with their excess gluttony and soft-ass lifestyle and screwed up looking stare downs. Look at her, look angry, seething in her face. Seething. She's holding extra water, boys. Seething. She can't understand that there are women in other countries that have to reuse a rag, as she bitches about the endless supply, the endless choices of tampons in all sizes. Wild. And they're complaining. It's a luxury to complain. It really is. She has no idea. Not fighting for the other women in other countries' rights, right? This whole thing for equality and the sisterhood, go sisterhood. Not fighting for the women that have to use rags or have no rags whatsoever. No cleaning, no sanitation, nothing available to them. No services. Not a peep. We don't hear it. We got this one. Holding water from all the excess carbs she's literally stuffing down her throat every day. You can see it in the moon face.
Have periods, they are natural.
So because you didn't choose to have it, that means everyone else should pay for it? I didn't choose to have teeth, so you want to pay for my toothpaste?
Reason 3 is that free condoms are literally everywhere.
And free birth control pills are available in a lot of places too, at least in the Philippines. But what do contraceptives have to do with tampons?
Reason 4 is that they are very hygienic, they keep us clean, and they keep our clothes clean, and they make us feel more comfortable in our own skin during these awful days of our period.
So everyone should chip in to keep you comfy? Air conditioning keeps my clothes from getting sweaty and keeps me more comfortable during those horrible summer days. Wanna pay for my electric bill?
Reason 5, they are just as necessary as toilet paper. Yeah.
Food is even more necessary, but I don't see anyone paying my grocery bill.
Reason 6 is eliminating embarrassment. Surprisingly, going up to a cashier with a box of tampons can be very embarrassing sometimes.
Oh my God, bruh. It's so hard being a woman today. If I have to walk up and pay for this shit and people see me, they're gonna judge me. Just make them free. Amazon delivery, guaranteed next day. Bezos, help us. Do you see what I mean? Do you see this shit, dude? The audacity to come on TikTok and complain that you have to go up to a cashier and buy tampons. That's emotionally traumatic for my day. I can't be bothered. Wow.
Oh, well, now you convinced me. We can't have you getting embarrassed. Talk about first world problems.
Reason 7 is that they are an extra expense that people without periods do not have to pay.
Ah, that's what it is.
Misogyny.
There we go. We got to the crux of the argument.
Misogyny.
It's a man's fault. It's not fair that women have to pay for tampons and men don't use them at all. Dude, never happy. We live in a society that's so comforted, so soft, that a person can say they get stressed out from buying tampons and being judged by the cashier who does not give a single shit about your whole existence. They're just waiting on the clock to count down so they can clock out, go home to their family, and try to make ends meet. Nobody cares about you. It's the self-victimization. It's wild in the West.
Electric razors are an expense that people without facial hair don't have to pay. And your point is?
And that's true too.
Finally, pads and tampons are not a luxury item. They should not be taxed as such. They are a necessity.
That's the same reason you give for number 5. It's a necessity. But once again, half of the things you buy are necessities. Should all that be free too? Sorry, I changed my mind. I'm not convinced.
Yeah, this is the softness in the narrative in the world today. I should say in the West, is that everybody owes you something because the system's broken or it's oppressing you in some sort of fashion. And that you have dues, rightfully yours. Hers, she zoned in on tampons. Others will zone in on other things. It's just wild, man, how every single problem you could possibly have in the most decadent, wealthiest, most comfortable country in the world, everybody's got something against them. There's some holding me back, bro. I can't get ahead in life. Jeez. Entitlement. That's what it is.
Any other ideas?
There are 4 reasons why financial is so important.
Financial? What fresh hell is this?
Women earn 81.6 cents for every dollar that men earn.
Oh, that a load of crap. I could do a whole video on that nonsense, but anyone with a first grade education knows that's baloney. They took the total amount earned by men and compared it to the total amount earned by women. But they didn't factor in things like men working more hours, getting more overtime, and getting paid for more dangerous jobs. Plus the fact that more women choose lower paid jobs like kindergarten teachers. It's equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome.
Women live 6 to 8 years longer than men and therefore need more money saved for retirement.
Then women have an extra 6 to 8 more years to earn money for retirement. Aren't you lucky? Why penalize men for something that's an advantage to you? I bet men would love to live another 8 years, unless they have to listen to crap like this.
Women are much more likely to put their careers on hold to be caregivers for the family.
Is anyone forcing them to do that? What was all that talk about choice? And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're gonna suck the cash right off your man if your marriage ends, so what's the problem?
And 61% of millennial women leave major financial decisions up to their spouse.
You mean
61%. So is that, again, here's where the gynocracy is so hypocritical. It's all about choice. So 61% of women, the majority, choose to let their man lead in the financial realm. However, the sisterhood cannot allow that to happen. That choice isn't allowed to be made. That shouldn't be a choice. The only choice you have is a boss babe, strong independent queen, living out in the streets, getting passed around by Chad. Empowered. That's your only choice. Go to work, be a corporate slave, let the IRS own your ass every year, and be happy. Collect dogs, collect cats, die alone. That's your choice. That's all you have. And if you say anything counter to that, if you're a stay-at-home mother, if you're, what were the other ones? I forgot what the other ones were called. There's this crazy TikTok that it was, they were attacking stay-at-home mothers and something else, a traditional conservative woman that was doing other things around the house. It's the comment section, guys. You won't believe it. If you go on TikTok and search conservative women, just look at the comment section from the pick-me's. Yeah, they have so many names for them. If you look at the comment section of conservative women that are happy and just posting videos of them with their baby or cooking for their man or with their husband, whatever, homemaking in any manner, dude, it's the most toxic section you will ever see. It's absolutely insane. If you go likewise on another comment section of a thick queen, you should see the amount of bullshit they're spitting under there. Thick queen, so amazing curves. Yes, babe, slay. But a woman taking care of her baby, serving her man, thereby serving her family, taking over the household duties, being a homemaker, just being traditional, the way we had it for years, thousands of years, is a pick-me, is internalized misogyny, is a slave, she's secretly dying inside. There's no way a woman can enjoy doing that. It's crazy. The mental gymnastics they'll jump through when you don't agree with their perspective, yet they claim we're for equality we just want a choice. That's what we're fighting for here. The choice, except if that choice is traditional.
61% choose to leave major financial decisions.
Decipher the unseen. Thanks, brother. Listen to this chick's angelic voice, all tone up for free stuff, but pumps up her voice for menacing grandpa. Yeah, exactly.
Up to their spouse. I thought having a choice is what this was all about. And besides, that's not far off from 50-50, so what's the big deal?
So let's normalize talking about money as women so that we can advocate for change and support each other.
Well, sure, talk about money all you want, but what is it you want to change? You want to live 8 years less or have your husband stay at home with the kids? I don't get it. And I think women already talk about money. In fact, they talk about it a lot, but they don't talk about earning it. They talk about taking it.
How much should your engagement ring cost?
Here we go again. Here we go again. The engagement ring. If you value traditional things like family and marriage, the institution of marriage, why are you so fixated on something so superficial like the value of the engagement ring? Imagine you think you have a good one, boys, and you go and propose. And she literally says, what the hell is even this? Why is the ring so tiny? You think I could walk around with this thing on my hand? And they go off. They only care about the day itself, not the actual journey of being married and creating a legacy and being in a partnership like that. It's just, I want my day. I want to be a bridezilla. I want the world to revolve around me where I'm a special little snowflake. And then I'm out, dude. You're a starter husband. Later. I can't hack it. Oh, you're telling me I gotta cook? You're telling me I gotta clean? You're telling me I gotta do all this shit? Yeah. Be a good partner. Help me. What are you talking about? Because clearly, let's hear it.
So I suggest two things. Number one, you demand a 3-carat or above ring that ranges anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000.
Bro. You want a ring that's worth more than the majority of salaries, yearly salaries for men? Hold up. Who the this chick here wants a 50 grand rock. This is what 50 grand rock gets you? Bruh. I'll give her a fucking ring pop at most. Take it or leave it. She's acting like she's fucking royalty or something, boys. Jeez.
Number one, you demand a 3-carat or above ring that ranges anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000.
Demand? Demand a $50,000 ring? And what do you offer in return? And men are the entitled ones just for talking to you?
And if he can't do that, demand a ring the equivalent price of his car. That way, if he ghosts you, you can resell that item and get back some of that lost time and start over with a new man.
Just how much do you think your time is worth? Are you charging by the hour? You know what they call that, don't you?
If he cannot afford that, think about how can he be a stable future husband or father.
So if a man can't plop down 50 grand right off the bat, that means he won't make a good husband or father? Is this a joke?
Can someone also tell her that this whole diamond ring thing was just fabricated in, what was it, the 20s by De Beers? Like, diamonds aren't that expensive. They're artificially propped up. We already know the story behind them. It was like the most insane marketing of all time. And it started off with, what, 3 months of salary equivalent for a ring? They absolutely, De Beers, they sold it to the American public like crazy. And now we got bozos running around really shooting themselves in the foot from getting a good man because they're artificially gatekeeping a marriage with a 50 grand rock. And there's going to be some bozo that reads her star sign every morning, that wakes up and sees that TikTok and goes, yes, queen, I'm worth $50,000 ring. I don't care if Jacob is the best guy I've ever met. I don't care if he loves me and wants to start a family. I am fucking worth 50 grand, not a penny less. Runs to Jacob and goes, gee, you better buy that for me right now, 50 grand, or else I'm gonna say no. He's gonna look at her like, what, dude? 50 G's? You wanna buy a house? You wanna start a family? How? We just spent all the money on your rock. How are we gonna afford the wedding now? How are we gonna afford anything now? We both got entry jobs. Let's talk about it. What's our economic situation? Most people do not have 50 G's to just throw on a useless ring. This is called delusion. This is called modern woman thinking. This is called entitlement. This is called insanity.
You can work for 20 plus years and maybe make $10 million, or you can get married and make $20 million instantly.
You think you can make $10 million in...
Boys, this is how we get rich. I got it. We're about to be given the financial advice of the decade.
Perfect.
You just got to get married, and you're going to have 20 million off the rip. How are we going to get this money?
In 20 years? That's $500,000 a year. Doing what? Brain surgery? And you think you can find a guy worth 20 million that's going to marry you? I heard women's standards were getting ridiculous, and I guess I heard right, because that's ridiculous.
Having a starter husband is a form of social climbing and building your fortune.
Bruh. I didn't know that starter husband shit was this popular until I read those articles for you guys. I am absolutely floored that this is her financial strategy in life. Oh my God. She's trying to double up on millions by marrying rich men and divorcing them, and she's got a whole timeline for this financial goal. What the fuck? Ryan, thanks, brother. Your reactions are top notch. I'm dying. Bo LMAO, cue the NPC music. It's queued up, dude. What?
20 million that's gonna marry you? I heard women's standards were getting ridiculous, and I guess I heard right, because that's ridiculous.
Having a starter husband is a form of social climbing and building your fortune.
No big deal. Just marry a guy you plan to divorce once you find a better target. That sounds logical and a smart investment strategy. You should give seminars.
Basically, what happens is a woman marries just for money, and then they're together for a few years, they get divorced, and she takes half of everything. And then she repeats the process. Once you're rich, it's easier to marry rich, and they just keep marrying rich until they're just rich by themselves.
I think there's a word for that. You know that word that a lot of you women say doesn't exist? Hypergamy. Are there any of you that aren't bloodsuckers?
Females act like men is just the problem. They walk around saying,
Pause.
Bruh.
Oh, that last one's a doozy, boys. Burn that into your brain. Financial strategy. Commit fraud. Marry men and divorce them multiple times, over and over again. Don't call her a gold digger, because that is
Misogyny.
Can't do that. Can't judge me. Double standards.
men ain't nothing, and blame them for everything. But really, it be the females. It be the females causing all the problems. It be the females that be making the men act how they act. It be the females that be doing that stuff, and then they just want to blame it on the men.
Okay, it's kind of ironic that the least articulate woman is the one I happen to agree with, but it is what it is. Okay, so let me see if I can summarize this for you. You shouldn't approach a woman if she's by herself, unless she wants you to. But never approach her if you're an old guy, unless you're really good looking and rich. Be prepared to hand over your life savings so that she can divorce you and move on to the next guy. That about cover it? I gotta admit, you women had me worried with creepy guys chasing you with brochures and putting you in boxes and murdering you in the streets. But now you've just gone off the deep end. It sounds to me like you just want everything given to you for free, and it's more about the money than the man. Why would a guy want any of you? What's in it for him? I didn't hear a single one of you talk about love or companionship, just what he can do for you. Well, I finally have my answer as to why men come to the Philippines, and if you still don't get it, just watch this video again and see if it sinks in.